Hey there, OG members and the broader business automation community. Cameron here from Team MonkeyPod. I want to introduce you to a guest contributor here at the MonkeyPod blog, Scott Hartley. Scott is the author of Hit the Inbox, How to Avoid the Spam Folder and Grow Your Business with Email Marketing. Scott has offered to help us deepen our understanding of email authentication, list hygiene, and the other things involved in running a successful email marketing list. Let's get into it.
The big three mailbox providers, Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo, they are not playing games any longer. Marketers who refuse to follow their rules are finding themselves in Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo jail. A lot of people ask, what is Google jail? What's Microsoft jail? What does that mean, right? So really there's two facets to landing in email jail. Number one, which is very common, is that instead of your emails getting delivered to the inbox, they get relegated to the spam or the junk folder. And that is a common occurrence. The more harsh penalty that we are starting to see more of is a more severe penalty of not even getting your emails accepted. So not only are they not going to the inbox, they're not even going to the junk or spam folder. Google and Yahoo are saying, hey, we're not even going to accept them at all. They just delete them and don't even try to deliver them. The most common scenarios that land people in jail: having excessive numbers of spam complaints and having excessive numbers of bounces. Those are kind of the top two things. And it all relates to how well are you managing your list of subscribers. So we may have legitimate customers. We may have people who have opted in to, a landing page on our website. They wanted a free report. They wanted a video series. Maybe they even bought from us, online for, some time ago. And the issue is that now that the mailbox providers are heavily looking at, are you emailing your most engaged contacts? And are those the only people that you're emailing? Or are you just simply blasting everybody on your list and you're not paying attention to who's actually opening and clicking and replying to your emails? And so what happens is that these people may have opted in. They may have given you permission to send them emails at some point in time in the past, but maybe they haven't been getting your emails. Maybe they just haven't been doing anything with your emails for a long time. And then all of a sudden, they start seeing your emails again. And they're like, who is this person? I don't remember ever opting in or signing up or requesting emails from them. And so instead of them being nice and taking, a few minutes to scroll down to the bottom and click that unsubscribe link, a lot of people now take the easy button. Boom, mark as spam. Now that gets you in trouble. And the threshold that the mailbox providers allow is one spam complaint for every 1,000 emails that you send. Once you start to get 2 spam complaints for every 1,000 emails, you start to have problems. You get 3 or more, now you are in serious trouble. And that's where Google and Microsoft and Yahoo jail comes into play. I have seen over the past 2 months, I've consulted with 9 businesses already because of the heavier enforcement of this rule, that their domain reputation has tanked because they've had excessive spam complaints and large numbers of bounced emails. And in many of those cases, that not only has their domain reputation taken a hit, but Google especially has said, we're not going to deliver some of your emails. I consulted with one company that Google and Yahoo blocked 100% of their emails. And then we're not just talking about their marketing emails. We're talking about their regular one-to-one emails that they were sending. And they couldn't even send internally between 2 members on the same company. And it was all because that they hadn't been looking to see who's opening, who's clicking, who's replying, and emailing only those contacts. They were emailing everybody, including people that hadn't been doing anything with their emails for over a year. The good news is that even for those businesses that have smaller lists, so let's say that your list size is only 500. So it's going to take you 2 broadcasts to, send out 1,000 emails, assuming that you email everybody. But if all 500 of those contacts are highly engaged, so they're regularly opening and they're clicking on your emails, the likelihood of those contacts reporting an email as spam is going to be significantly reduced. Why? Because you've set expectations, how often they're going to receive emails from you, what type of emails that they're going to get, and because they want to hear from you. As long as you're providing value and they're engaging with your emails, the likelihood of those spam complaints coming in is going to be almost zero. Here's another piece of good news. The more that you're following all of the best practices, such as what I lay out in my book, Hit the Inbox, if you're following all of the best practices and you've got a high domain reputation, you get a little bit of leeway. You can't constantly abuse the system, but if you're looked at by Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo, and they're saying, okay, Scott's doing really good. He's, abiding by all of the rules of email marketing. He's got a high domain reputation. He doesn't get spam complaints very often. He's got a lot of people that are clicking and opening on his emails that obviously they want to receive them. Okay, we're going to let this time slide. So maybe he got 5 spam complaints. That really puts him over the threshold, but we're going to keep an eye on him, but we're going to let this one slide. If it continues, boom, we're bringing the hammer down. But as long as he learns and corrects his actions, it can have no effect. All of the mailbox providers, Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, you name it, they are tracking thousands of data points. They have probably more information on us than we know about us, and especially our email habits. If you think about it, if you've got a free Gmail account, just look at the ad emails that show up in your inbox, right? And so they're feeding you things based upon what you're doing and not doing in your email box and other places on the web. And so they can track when you're sending out emails, and let's just take Google for example, and you've got 60% of your list that are using Google hosted email. So that's a gmail.com address or a Google Workspace hosted email. Okay, it's at a domain, but it's using Google Workspace as the back end. They're able to track, okay, you sent 500 emails to all of these different people. Only 112 of them actually opened that email. 216 just put it straight into the trash, and the remaining of them just kind of let it sit there. They can track all of that data, and they're looking not only at the individual recipient, but they're looking globally at everybody that you've emailed on their platform. And they use that to make decisions. Where are we going to place the emails that you send? Are we going to put it in the primary inbox, or are we going to put it in promotions or updates if people have those enabled? Or are we going to send it to spam or junk? Then they're going to look at that and say, okay, based upon the actions of all your recipients, where are we going to place your domain reputation? Is it going to stay at high? Or are we going to drop you down to medium? Oh, wait a minute. You got 20% of your list that marked it as spam? Okay, you were high. We're going to put you all the way down to low in the matter of 3 days. I've seen that happen with people. So all of this data that they're aggregating, they're using this to determine how good of an email marketer you are and what they're going to do with your emails. With Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo jail, the way to stay out of it is you've got to regularly monitor and look at the metrics for your email marketing. If you are a savvy business owner, you're already looking at metrics anyway, or you should be. You're looking, at how much revenue do we have coming in? What's, the profitability of the products and services that we're selling, and other things that are important, key metrics in your business. Email marketing, you need to be looking at the metrics. You need to be looking every single week at minimum, who's opening my emails, who's clicking on my emails, what are they doing with my emails. You need to be looking at your domain reputation. You need to be looking at all of these different statistics to say, okay, we've gotten 3% of our list, for whatever reason, their emails bounced. Like a month ago, the emails were getting through. Now, for some reason, they're not. You've got to look at those numbers and then make decisions based upon those numbers. And with the engagement, which is like the most important metric, stop emailing people who have not engaged with an email more than 90 days. So if you're noticing that, hey, I've emailed, Sally on my list, and for the first month, she opened and clicked on 90% of those emails. But then in month number 2, she kind of dropped down. It was kind of like 50-50. Maybe she'd open them. And then maybe in month number 3, she wasn't opening them at all. Like, okay, I'm going to try to re-engage Sally. And then if she doesn't come around, she's obviously not interested anymore. So now I'm not going to include her in my email broadcasts. And so we have to look at the data and then make informed decisions of what's the next step for this particular contact and this group of people. And as we do that, that's going to keep us in the good graces of the mailbox providers. It's going to keep us out of email jail. But on the flip side, it's going to have a positive effect on our email marketing efforts and ultimately on our bottom line. Because if you think about it, if you have 70, 80, 90% of people opening your emails and you're providing value, number one, you're helping them. And then when you do make that call to action, hey, go buy this, go sign up for that, most of those people are probably going to be inclined to do that. Why? Because they're engaged. So you want to be looking at this, on a consistent basis and notice the trends. You want to see what's happening from week to week, from month to month. Don't wait for something bad to happen and be like, oh, we were getting a 60% open rate. Wow, it dropped to 20. At that point, it could be too late, right? You want to look like, oh, last week we had a 60% open rate. This week it dropped down to 52. Why was that? And then what can I do to correct that? If you land in Google, Microsoft, or Yahoo jail, sometimes you can get notified about it. Now, Microsoft and Yahoo, they keep a lot of things behind the veil. They don't reveal much to you at all, okay? Google, they're a little bit more transparent, but you got to have the data set up. So Google Postmaster Tools is your friend. It's a free service offered by Google. You set up Google Postmaster Tools. You can look at your domain reputation. They'll say, hey, Google thinks you're awesome. Google thinks you suck, so you can see that on your domain reputation. They also tell you your spam rate. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't know. Not all of your spam complaints get reported back to your email marketing software. So Keep, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Aweber, all of these platforms, Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo don't say, hey, 17 people out of your last broadcast reported an email as spam. They keep that information to themselves. But if you have Google Postmaster Tools set up and you're sending enough volume, you can go in and look at your spam rate and it'll show you 0.7% of your recipients reported an email as spam on this particular date. Okay, that's way too many. And then another data point with Google Postmaster Tools is your delivery errors. If you have any delivery errors, that tells you you are really being punished, because that's when Google says, hey, we didn't even accept the emails for delivery. That's when you have really serious issues.
Thanks for that, Scott. If you want to make sure you're not unknowingly breaking the new anti-spam crackdown rules, request Scott's Hit the Inbox audit in the link below. If you want to learn from experts like Scott and collaborate with peers as you automate your business's sales, marketing, and operations, join the MonkeyPod membership by following our link below. See you soon.